You are completely in the moment. You can't think of anything else. Between, say, 21 and possibly turning 60, I didn't sail, or very little. Hired a boat occasionally during the holidays with the kids, but not much. But then, when my 60th birthday approached, a friend who is a sailor, who lives on the south coast, told me that he had a laser, little single-handed dinghy lying in the back of his garden, overgrown, had been there for years, used to belong to his son. And he said, if you want it, come and get it. And that's how I got back into sailing. So I'd already started thinking, well, I would need to join a sailing club. And are there any near where I live in North London? But I checked it out, and it turns out there was a Welsh Harp Sailing Club. So I joined them. Paid my membership fee, and I paid a berthing fee because I was going to bring my own boat. I'm glad I did. It's a great club, great crowd of people. I've now never looked back. It's a great place. It's a great thing to be doing. I would say just for your mental health.
The Welsh Harp was formed in the mid-19th century, and it was formed as a reservoir to feed the canals. So there was a lot of trade in London, and that trade was going up and down the canals, and so they needed a head of water as all the boats went along. So I think in about 1840 they dammed it to create this head of water. It's a really exciting place, sailing at the Welsh Harp. The reason that is it's the largest sailing area in central London, and it's just amazing to have this kind of open space here.
There are mixed teams. The laser is single-handed, and there's the other boat, the GP, which is for a double-handed crew. And we have women competing in lasers as well as as part of those double-handed crews.
The membership of Welsh Harp Sailing Club is really diverse. We have a really good mixture of men and women, not 50-50, but we're working on it and we're getting there. We have all sorts of different ethnicities, all sorts of different faiths, and we all come together, and there's a really lovely sense of community. Whatever people have in their lives outside is in their lives outside, and we come together and we support each other, and it's a very, very lovely place to be.
How nice it is, certainly since COVID, everybody understands how good it is to walk by the side of the water, to be near water. How much better to be on the water, you know, with the water around you, with the birds, and it's a bird sanctuary here as well. It's a nature reserve. It's a little oasis, really, in North London, by the North Circular right there behind me. Wembley Stadium over there, Brent Cross over there, and we're having a lot of fun in between.
The laser dinghy is it's a one-man boat. It was designed in the 1970s and became one of the biggest, if not the biggest, worldwide fleet of one-man boats. It was an accessible boat, price-wise and size-wise. So it became very quickly adopted into the Olympics and became an Olympic-class boat, and still is an Olympic-class boat. So it's a very dynamic, one-person boat. Everyone's boat is the same. So in theory, we're racing with very equal terms with the same boat, but it's our skills that kind of better each other. So that makes the competitiveness.
Okay, and how do I start and stop?
Start is so Mika and I are both kind of leads in this laser fleet. Each fleet of sailboats has a captain, and Mika has been our laser fleet captain for a couple of years.
On a Saturday morning, people who are experienced sailors but who want to improve their skills in the laser, which is quite a demanding single-handed boat. We aim to be here by 10, changed and boats rigged by 10, We agree an objective, something that we're going to practice, and we're on the water, usually with a powerboat. Powerboat for safety. We always keep safety, and the coaching is done from the powerboat. Sometimes, if there are more than one coach, which often happens, one could be in the powerboat and the other one can be on the water with the others in their own boat, modeling the whatever it is we're trying to practice. 20. Oh, Anselm, you're over the line. Get back. 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, go. We come back, a little debriefing. How did they go? We need to eat something, we need to drink something and get ready for that. And so that's the routine of a Saturday morning. Now, the racing in the afternoon is important, so you want to get that right. I'd rather rig the boat and be ready for the racing, so I don't have to worry about it. So that's done.
All right, yay, thank you guys.
The racing itself, well, of course, it depends on the weather. We're always thinking about what the wind is going to do. It's an endless topic of conversation, of course.
And did you also notice as you came up to the yellow buoy, the wind direction always changed, every single time?
Yeah, it is.
Because we have a whole opening in the trees here and the building, so what it does is suddenly the wind, instead of being funneled by these trees in that direction, it's open there and just goes straight across.
Depending on the strength of the wind, you plan your what you're going to do. And it depends on the weather, what you're going to wear. And it's important because you can get very cold very quickly, and when you're cold, it's not good.
And the black long-sleeved body layer. It's got black and white stripes down the arm.
Perfect.
So
I'll have a look first because I may have something in my back as well, but I think not because
okay,
I
so
repacked it the other
just
day.
dig around and you'll pick out what you need.
Well, you basically rig the boat like you always do, but then there are the controls of the sail. They're the things you're in control of while you're sailing. Once you're on the water and you're heading for what we call the committee boat, which is where the start and the finish happens and where you get your instructions about the course and so on. On your way to the committee boat, you could lose too much time if you set off too late. If you launch your boat too late and there's not a lot of wind, it could take you a while to get there. The start happens when the start happens, so you need to be there on time. On the gun, you need to be on the line. That sounds obvious, but it's not as easy as that. Well, what can go wrong? Almost everything. Assuming we got the rigging right and we didn't make any silly mistakes, and I'm a little bit more experienced now, so I tend not to make those mistakes, although it still happened. A couple of days ago, quite gusty, strong winds, and I decided to shelter in the wind shadow of trees by the side of the committee boat. And I thought, I'm nice and calm here, I can wait here till about 30 seconds to go, and then I move. I've chosen my position, I think I know where I want to be on the starting line, and I'll be off on the gun. Come 30 seconds, and I said, okay, let's go, let's move over to the starting line. I couldn't move. I was completely what we call in irons. There was absolutely no wind. Needless to say, that race was a disaster. I really enjoy close duels, close racing with one or two other boats, regardless of where we are in the overall field of the race. That's exciting, especially when you're on the beat, which means you're sailing into the wind, which means you have to go up at 45-degree angles to the wind, and you keep crossing each other. Okay, you're fighting against each other, but you're both having a great time, especially when the wind is up and you're physically having to work hard at the same time as trying to use the rules to your advantage and beat the other guy. We know what water does to our mental health. Combine that with having to totally focus, be surrounded by people who are also totally focused and who are enjoying doing what they're doing for the same reasons as you are. It's therapeutic and it's just a great fun. It can get hairy, you know what, it's racing and the risks are part of the fun. Other things I enjoy, everybody enjoys, is just the sheer speed or the experience of speed. You don't go very fast in comparison to what speeds you can reach in a car or even on a bicycle. But if the wind is strong in relation to in a certain angle to the wind, it can get very exciting. There are moments when it feels like the whole boat is in balance, things start humming. They actually start humming. There's a vibration that goes through the centerboard and the boat starts to sing. The opposite conditions, very light winds, can be exciting. You try to keep the boat moving. There's very little pressure in the sail, so you try to sit and be as still as possible, but at the same time change your position, use your body weight to control the boat to make it as fast as possible. Fast is a relative term, but we talk about being fast even in very light conditions. That is exciting for in its very own way. So there's very little about sailing really that I don't enjoy.
I'm fairly new to sailing. There are people here who've sailed all their lives, but I've been sailing here for about 5 or 6 years. There's a really lovely development pathway at the club, so when you join you start doing one-to-one tasters and then you can start going out with an instructor and you learn to sail, and then eventually you get to go into the race fleets. So now I'm in one of the race fleets. I sail a GP14, which is this lovely boat behind me, and I've sailed with some really, really wonderful people, and it's as a result of sailing with other people you really get to learn. And at the club we do a crew helm thing, so you crew in one race and then in the next race you helm, so you get to know every role, and it's like having a personal coaching session every week, and hopefully that means that you get to learn to sail quickly. I always like continuous improvement, and I'm never happy to sit still. I always want to learn and I always want to get better.
I'm coming up to my 70th birthday now. Many of my buddies are in their 60s, still competing, sharp. The older they are, the more experienced they are, the more you can learn from them. And speaking for myself, I mean, you race regardless of the conditions, right? It could be light, but on a very windy day, you have to work hard. And I'll tell you, that evening, socially, I'm useless if I don't have my beauty sleep. So we often have, I don't know, friends over for dinner or if we're going somewhere else. I must get my sleep in before we go out, because otherwise I end up with my face in the soup, you know. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. There are people here who show that you can keep it going for at least another decade. That's the plan.